Well, here are 5 things the Bible says are keeping you poor. And all of these things come specifically from the book of Proverbs. Now, if you think about it, Proverbs in the Bible are not promises. They're not guarantees of what is going to happen. Instead, they are wise aphorisms. Proverbs are the way things usually work in God's universe. That's how you would want to read them. And according to Proverbs, there are at least 5 things that will make you poor. Now, if you like what you hear in this video, then please do me a favor, smash the like button, because then that will push this video out to more people that can be blessed by it. Here's the first lesson. Chasing after get-rich-quick schemes makes you poor. Proverbs 28. Whoever works his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows worthless pursuits will have plenty of poverty. You know, so many of us are speculating for gold when we could be planting corn. Now understand, it's not wrong, of course, to take advantage of opportunities or to improve your status, but get-rich-quick schemes are generally a recipe for disaster. For example, we read in Proverbs chapter 20, an inheritance gained hastily in the beginning will not be blessed in the end. Easy money is usually unreliable. As a general rule, work is a much surer way to prosperity than bright ideas. So think of Proverbs 13, for example. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. That word translated hastily means literally money out of the air. So wealth that comes suddenly rather than gradually. And Solomon is warning us here. He warns us that if you don't grow your wealth over years through diligence and skillfulness, well, you may not grow the character and the habits necessary to be able to manage the money well. Solomon is suggesting that wealth is better gathered slowly, so that the character that greater assets require grows along with it, grows along with your wealth. If riches come quickly, well, they're very often spent quickly. Lesson 2, debt makes you poor. Proverbs 22. Be not one of those who gives pledges, who puts up security for debts. If you have nothing with which to pay, why should your bed be taken from under you? Solomon tells us to avoid borrowing on security. The very bed that you sleep on can be taken from you. Proverbs 22, the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is the slave of the lender. Understand, to get into debt is to lose control of your life. It's to be at someone else's mercy. Now, it's not necessarily a sin to have debt. I understand fully that it's a rare person who can buy maybe a car outright, and an even rarer person who can buy a house outright. The majority of us will end up financing our homes. Now, there is a way to use debt to your advantage. Some people do that. There are wealthy people who have managed to use debt in such a way that they become even more wealthy. That is certainly possible, but not everyone is able to do it. In fact, I would argue that most people are not successful at that route. Most people fail miserably, and they end up being nothing more than a slave to their lender. I mean, just think about how many credit cards we have with high interest rates that are just completely sucking us dry. How many of us, if we lose our job, will be completely and totally taken down because of the mountain of debt that we have? Understand it, the borrower is slave to the lender. Lesson 3, idle hands make you poor. Proverbs 6, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. I love that proverb. So picture this, someone who thinks that they have it made. They're buying all this fancy stuff because they have their passive residual income streaming in. They're lying back on the sofa. They're collecting all of their checks. And then all of a sudden, a recession hits. None of their renters can pay them. A little sleep, a little slumber, and poverty comes upon you like a robber, and want like an armed bandit. Idle hands. Gotta watch out. Lesson 4. A lavish lifestyle and poor spending habits makes you poor. Proverbs wants us to spend cautiously. Proverbs 21. Whoever loves pleasure will be a poor man. He who loves wine and oil will not be rich. In other words, don't develop expensive tastes. Live within your means. You know, it was Oscar Wilde that said that anybody who lives within their means suffers from a lack of imagination. Don't listen to that. Live on less than you make. And here's the last lesson. Laziness makes you poor. Proverbs wants people to realize that laziness leads to poverty. Solomon observes this so often when he travels. Proverbs 24, I passed by the field of a sluggard, by the vineyard of a man lacking sense, and behold, it was all overgrown with thorns. The ground was covered with nettles, and its stone wall was broken down. Then I saw and considered it. I looked and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. And poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. The lazy person will have his feet up, he'll have his arms crossed, but at the end of the day, the guy's going to have no money, he's going to have no food. In fact, the person that will not embrace discomfort and work, that person will experience poverty. Proverbs 20, the sluggard does not plow in the autumn, he will seek at harvest and have nothing. You see, the sluggard comes along and says, listen, I can't go to work in this weather. Oh, come on, I'll wait for a better time. And as a result of his excuses at harvest time, he looks and he finds nothing. The lazy person doesn't find money. What does he find instead? He finds poverty. Well, there are 5 things that make you poor according to the Bible. I hope that you have been blessed by these. I hope you can take this back to your own life and figure out, okay, what are some of these things that I need to avoid? I hope this has been a blessing to you. Lord willing, it has. Thank you so much, and God bless you in the way.